All right. Well, they make it too easy for me to do a little rant like this, but let's get started. If you don't know, or if you haven't heard, if you've been living under a rock for the last 24 hours, the 45th president, the ex-president Donald J. Trump, his house was raided by the FBI during a warrant service. And I can't say I'm surprised, right? I can't say I'm surprised by this. I mean, I can't imagine that the left has a lot of cards left in the deck to play, other than pulling some shenanigans like this. But what I do find surprising is what Nancy Pelosi had to say about it this morning, 15 hours after the warrant was served. Nancy got up this morning to open up her big fat dentures and say, quote, "All I know about that is what was in public domain." Well, one, that would be the first time that you didn't have any insider information. That would be the first time that your husband wouldn't be able to hit a grand slam in the stock market because you didn't have some kind of crazy insider information. She goes on to say, "I was surprised that it flashed on my phone, and so I didn't really have too much to say, except you did have a lot to say, Nancy, because you said a lot. This article goes on and on forever. You had a lot to say." She continues, she says, "To have a warrant, you need justification, and that says that no one is above the law, not even a president or a former president of the United States." So that, again, is the pulpit that you want to stand behind, Nancy, is that no one is above the law. How crazy. It's not like that your husband, just a couple of months ago, didn't run a stop sign, striking another vehicle, totaling both cars, and injuring a human being, and then blowing a .08 1 hour after the accident where he was coming from a wine dinner. Now, I don't know how much evidence you need for a DUI, but it seems like a lot of evidence to me. Furthermore, in that investigation, they decided, again, no one is above the law, so we're not gonna disclose or release the dash cam footage from that case because it is evidence in an ongoing investigation. That makes sense, because that's not what we've been doing for the last 5 years. We definitely haven't been releasing 10-second snippets of body camera footage and dash cam footage that damns or retards a jury or a judge in a case that doesn't fit our narrative. No way. We've always done the right thing and not released the body camera dash cam footage until the investigation is over. What a joke. No one is above the law. It's not like we haven't sat back and watched leak after leak of Hunter Biden hooking up with prosties, ripping crack pipes, and showing his dick every time he turns his phone on. It's not like we all didn't live through Hunter Biden showing up to his first day of the Naval Reserves as a Navy Reserve officer, strung out on cocaine and alcohol, and he didn't get a dishonorable discharge. I don't know of any other human being on the planet other than Hunter Biden that could have showed up to his first day in the Navy, strung out on cocaine and booze, and not get a dishonorable discharge. No one is above the law. It's not like Hunter Biden didn't abandon his vehicle full of crack pipes and White House credentials, just leaving his rental car on the side of the road for the police to find after it was reported stolen from a rental car agency. I don't know how many cards the left has to play. Honestly, I'm not shocked. I wish I was. You got China sitting on the border of Taiwan, chomping at the bit. You got the Ukraine-Russia debacle, following up the Afghanistan pullout debacle. Gas prices through the roof. Inflation out the wazoo. Can't say that I'm surprised. In the midterm, Donald Trump, who endorsed a Texas candidate, just blew out the Republican candidate, George Bush, in the primary challenge. So that's scary. That goes to show you that definitely he's still a threat when it comes to the next election. But how far are we willing to let politicians go? How far are we willing to let these guys go to retard a presidential election? Because one side doesn't want a particular person to be the president. How far do they get to go? How corrupt do they get to become? I think this is a gross misuse of the FBI. I talked about it during the Ashley Biden FBI raid on Project Veritas, where Ashley Biden forgot or left behind her diary at her sex rehab, at her halfway house. And somebody in the sex rehab house opens up the diary and sees allegations or things that allude to the reason why she might have such a aggressive sex addiction is because of inappropriate sexual misconduct by family members. She took said diary and gave it over to the media. When has the media ever obtained information that may have been a hack or might have been a classified release of information by a whistleblower? When has that ever happened in the history of the media that the federal government went and raided the homes of the producers and the editors of the network. It's never happened. It shouldn't ever happen. It's a gross misuse of the FBI. But here we see the FBI, and I'm not saying that the FBI is all bad. I have friends that I served with that are in the FBI. I've worked with the FBI before. They're not all bad people. But I think this presidency is grossly misusing the FBI, and it's definitely weaponizing the Department of Justice, especially when it all happens to happen during the midterms. Shocking. How far are we willing to let this go? I don't know. I feel like we have a lot of other fish to fry. But I love it how Nancy Pelosi opens up her mouth and talks about no one is above the law. As if we didn't know that Hillary Clinton acid washed all of her emails. And if I remember correctly, her house wasn't raided by the FBI, or when her husband Bill got a blowy in the Oval Office by a 20-year-old unpaid intern. I don't remember his house being raided when he lied on stand about that. That this raid on Donald Trump, does it A, prove that no one is above the law, or is this just another Lego piece and the creation of this clown show that is this presidency? I don't know. You tell me. I feel like they make it too easy. I feel like they're playing with us. And at some point, we've got to say it's enough. But what is that point? Let me know. Let me know what you think in the comments.